Hello, hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Game Week 3 deadline stream. Here we go. Get those chat comments coming in, everything, and we'll do our best to answer all your transfer troubles for the week. You can see my team on the screen here. I'm in. Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal. There's definitely some moves that I'm keen to make, and yeah, excited to show you guys what I'm thinking. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it looks pretty good. Other than that, rightio.
All New Yorkers know.
Let me just get the chat up on my phone as well. I find it easier to read that way. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. I cannot see any chats just yet, but we're getting there. Here we go. All right, guys. Welcome in. Welcome in. Jeevan Gill with the first question. You've got Sanchez, Porro, Nico Williams, Agbadu, Anderson. Okay. Then you've got Salah, Wirtz, Bruno, Reinders, Palmer, Watkins, Fulkrug, Gio. Should I sell Gio or Fulkrug first? And should I bring in Mateta, João Pedro, or Wood for them? Also, who's your favourite Palmer replacement? Thinking Anderson or Sarr right now. You're also on free hit 6. I think that I would get in between the Palmer replacements. I really like Sarr. For me, it's between Semenyo and Sarr, and I quite like Sarr as a pick. And I think for strikers to replace Fulkrug, it's probably between João Pedro and Wood for me. I'm leaning slightly towards Wood, but only slightly. Anish Nakra, I moved Palmer out and also upgraded one of my defenders before the Wolves press conference. Okay, you have 6 attackers, assuming Strand Larson won't start. Should I take a hit to upgrade you to Mateta? I mean, you have 6 attackers, so you're just playing 4 at the back. Richard's first sub. Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't think you need to take a hit unless you literally have a player in your team who, in your starting 11, who isn't going to play. Is that the case? Sorry, maybe misunderstanding. Tommy L. Asmar, start Richards or Aitnery? I would start. See, Crystal Palace have a 21% chance of a clean sheet here, and Man City have a 29% chance. Also, Aitnery is a much more attacking player, so even if it was slightly close, I'd probably lean towards Aitnery anyways, Tommy. Marine says, greetings, Stephen. Good to have you back live. Well, thank you very much. Good to have you in. Good morning, Fariel. Tom Barton, start Rodgers or Johnson? I have Lacroix in defence, so don't want to double against Villa. Start Rodgers or Johnson? That's actually quite a tough one. I would say you'd almost just start Rodgers. Oh, no, sorry, I meant Johnson. Because because you look at the projected goals, and Spurs are so high compared to Villa, who are quite low. Not quite low. They're not anywhere near them. So yeah, I would start Johnson there. Okay, Trevor Barrett says, Sarr for Semenyo this week. Great record versus Villa. Sarr in for Semenyo. I mean, I would not be transferring Semenyo out. I definitely wouldn't be transferring Semenyo out. In fact, a lot of people are looking to transfer him in. What would be your front 3 on wildcard? For me, on wildcard, I'd go Haaland, João Pedro, Wood. I would have Haaland in a wildcard. James, good morning. Who's your best Rusher and Bone replacements? I have Strand Larson and Reinders, but don't think Strand will play. In terms of a Rusher replacement, I quite like... you already have Reinders, so maybe go for someone like Pap Sarr. Pap Sarr could be a good shout. And then for Bone replacements, it depends on your other strikers, but in order, I would say it probably goes Wood, João Pedro, Mateta. Are you worried about your FPL performance after first 2 weeks? Are you still confident this year, Row? No, I'm not worried at all. Not worried at all. I mean, the ranks are so close together right now that like even just a few points brings you up a couple million. So it's not something I don't even look at rank at this point in the season. But obviously I see it and I want to see it going up. So it's not ideal where we are now, but it's only 2 game weeks. Abhinav Kalrat, Palmer for Barnes and Gio for Wood. You already have Pedro. Yeah, I like it. I like the Barnes shout. Newcastle mids are going slightly under the radar. Mello, should I captain Wood or João Pedro? I'm probably going to captain Wood myself. If I had the two of them, yeah, I'd probably still captain Wood. Want to start between Verts, Van de Ven and Juve, says Giovanni De Benedetti. Verts? Yeah, maybe Verts. Yeah, I would start your 8.5 million attacker over either of your 4.5 million defenders. Mr. B, first time this season watching Deadline, finally. Thanks for the season tips. I finished in 30k. Wow, nice job. You did better than me last season just watching my videos. Maybe I should have been watching my videos. A Stone come out. What are the chances Captain Watkins as he introduces himself to FPL? Not going to happen. Not going to happen for me, unfortunately. Anish Nakra. No, all will be playing. It's just that I have 4 at the back. 4 at the back is fine, man. Don't worry about 4 at the back, Anish. 4 at the back's the meta this year. As you can see, I've got a little 4 at the back going here. But I don't think this is actually how I'll end up playing. You could even play 5 at the back this year. Like, with how many players are getting DEFCON, defenders are looking like they're going to bring in a lot more points than we expect from them normally. Okay. Stephen Gill, sorry for the life story of a question, but could I just do Palmer to start full Krug and roll? Yeah. Actually, I would do that. I would save the transfer on full Krug if you can just start him. Yeah, that actually makes more sense. But do the Palmer to Sar move. I like that. Tommy L. Asmar, I'm just afraid of prep roulette with 8 Nuri. Yeah, I mean, there's always a concern. I just don't think it's worth a transfer. But if you're tempted to bench him, it was between him and Richards, right? Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, but I just think, I think he'll play. I think he's one of those guys for Pep that will just see him play so many games for him. Rainey says, start Konsa or Richards? I would start Richards. Well, look at it here. And Villa have a higher clean sheet odds than Palace by far. So you know what? Go for Konsa. Just based off the data, I would go for Konsa. Chow says, Palmer for who? Sar or Semenyo, I think. Harry Widup, what do you think of just going Palmer to Bruno / Mbumo and saving the extra transfer to potentially even go back to Palmer if he's fit after the break? I mean, I do like Palmer to Bruno or Mbumo. What I don't like is then transferring him back in. I just don't think that's worth the 2 transfers. I see what you mean, but I just feel like you're using 2 transfers and it's a bit wasteful. But maybe it's one of those things where like you get Bruno or Mbumo in, and then we wait a few weeks, see how Palmer gets back. Once he scores, then you go and get him. Maybe that's how you could play it. F2 says, are you going to make a transfer this stream because of Palmer? Yeah, definitely. I'll be making a transfer this stream. What do I plan to do with Palmer? Nice little follow-up with Ariel says, so I'm thinking of going Palmer to Sar and Mark Gio to Wood. Little teaser for you guys. KM, top of the morning. 8 Nuri fit now. Also thinking to go from Palmer and Gio to Semenyo and Wood. Yeah, apparently 8 Nuri's fit according to what I've seen online. So happy enough to start him. And then, yeah, Palmer and Gio to Semenyo and Wood is a really nice set of transfers. Really nice. Rowe, finally time to get rid of Wilson. For me, not necessarily, because he would have been on my bench this game week anyways. And then next week, he plays Leeds. And then the following, he plays Brentford. I think he plays Leeds and Brentford both at home. So I'm more than happy to have him on my bench this week. That was always going to be the plan against Chelsea anyways. But yeah, Wilson is definitely on my list of players to remove from this team. It's just a matter of time. Okay. Um, who are you planning to bring in for Palmer? Sar. Nelson says hello, hello. Hello to you too, Nelson. I'm on wildcard. Any suggestions for my team? Kelleher, Collins, Lacroix, Williams, Ndoye, Salah, Reinders, Dango, Wood, Hallen, Gyökeres, bench Dubravka, Garner, Van de Ven, Reynildo. Yeah, I like the team. I actually really like the team. The front line of Wood, Hallen, Gyökeres is quite nice. Midfield with Salah, Reinders, Dango, Ndoye. I think one thing you could consider potentially is not going double Brentford defence. I know they play Sunderland this game week, but is that really a defence that you want to double up on for the season? Because wildcard, you need to think about the next 6 to 8 game weeks at least. Well, you kind of need to think about until game week 19, I guess, if you're wildcarding today. But overall, I like your team. Marin Capic says, who would be your fourth mid on a free hit for less than 7 million? Dango / Kudus is my current dilemma. Any other suggestions? Yeah, I would go Kudus or even Barnes. Barnes could be a good shout as well. If you don't already have some Newcastle players in, I'd imagine you do though. Or Elanga if you can squeeze him in too. Rajesh, Palmer to Johnson and Gio to João Pedro. Yeah, I like those moves. Varfiel says, do when games air go into your planning? I want someone to watch every game for enjoyment. Yeah, I mean it's a good point. I know a lot of people think about like, oh, early kickoff, oh, Monday night football. For me, that doesn't come into it at all. I just feel like it's impossible to. I just don't think it affects the results as much as we think it does, or as much as some FPL managers think it does, I should say. Yusuf, hey, I got Rutter, Palmer, and Gio as my problematic assets. Thinking, do I get 2 mids or 1 mid and a forward? Thoughts? Okay, so Rutter, Palmer, Gio. Do I get 2 mids or 1 mid and a forward? So you have 2 transfers and you need to sort 2 of these 3 guys out. You've Reinders, Gakpo, Bruno, Haaland, and Watkins already. Okay, so you already have a couple of captain options in your team in Bruno and Haaland. It's a tough one. I think I quite like the thought of. I mean, you already have a lot invested in your forward line. I think Palmer and Rutter is the one to go because the thing with Gio is that he's not actually that problematic. Gio isn't a problematic asset. He scored in the League Cup. He could, get starts soon. So, like, for me, I'm transferring him out this game week. But, like, I don't necessarily want to, So, Palmer and Rutter, I would say. Take those 2 out and go for something like Semenyo and Sar or Kudus or, Barnes, Elanga, any of those 5. Alejandro Escobedo, good to have you back at the stream, my man. What to do with Palmer? I could do Palmer and Gio to Dango and Watkins or Anderson and use the 0.5 to upgrade the defense. Alternatively, Jorgen Strand Larsen instead of Gio and pocket the difference. Okay, interesting. So I think that I do like the Dango pick, and Watkins is a crazy shout because I know that the fixtures look amazing, but they've not. Villa in general haven't looked amazing. I do expect them to turn it around soon. I'm just not sure if Palace is the fixture that they'll do it. So I believe that you could probably do better off. I mean, Alejandro, also message in what the rest of the midfielders and the forwards in your team look like, because that'll definitely help me make a decision for you. Josh L. Stephen, I'm on a free hit. Can you recommend me some roguish picks? I mean, I think Newcastle mids like Elanga and Barnes are some cheeky ones to throw in there. And then Dango at Brentford. Some Brentford, against Sunderland. You'd love that. And then obviously Man United players. So just get 3 players from Man United, from Newcastle, and from Brentford. They play the 3 promoted teams. And then also 3 Forest. There you go, sorted. Aidan Wellings, Wood and Johnson or Mateta and Semenyo? I'd lean towards. I mean, Is Wood and Semenyo an option? I would prefer that. But between these, I'd say Wood and Johnson. Callum Munty, hello, how's it going, mate? Munoz or Nico Williams? That is actually a very tough one. I would say Nico Williams. I'm just a clean sheet merchant when it comes to like who's gonna play in my squad. All about those clean sheets. So yeah, Nottingham Forest with the second highest clean sheet odds this game week. It's gonna have to be the Forest man. Elanga or Cunha for Palmer. I would say I actually prefer Elanga. To Cunha. And I know a lot of people will say that's mad, but for me that makes perfect sense because, you know, Man United haven't even scored a goal. Leak Crew, would you have Dango or Brennan Johnson on a free hit? Yeah, I would have Dango. If I had to choose between the two of them, I would go for Dango. Varfiel, is a Man United midfielder worth a buy when games are tough after Burnley? No, not necessarily. I think the whole Man United fielder craze is because, obviously, they play Burnley this week, but it's also because Palmer's out. So then everyone has all these funds that they have for a midfielder. Imagine you get rid of Palmer, you have 10.5, 10.4 mil now since his price drop. 10.4 mil. Who are you going to buy? You're immediately going to look at the players that are close to that value. 8 million and above, let's say. And, 3 of those are Man United players. And obviously they play Burnley this week, so it makes perfect sense to go for them. But then they have City and Chelsea, the next 2 games. I don't see too many goals for them there. So I think the Man United midfielder craze is... I'm not being pulled into it. It's not even something I've entertained. Just from having watched Man United the first 2 game weeks, I'm like... I don't think they're worth the price. I think there's players much cheaper that will perform at the same level, if not even higher. Like Sar, Semenyo. Okay. Abhinav Kalra, who is captain you are thinking of this week? Yeah, guys, there is a poll, I believe. If you want to add some... Oh, wait, there is already some votes in the poll. So we can check that out soon. But yeah, we have... the poll, if you haven't already voted in it there. My captain, I'm thinking I'm going to have to transfer him in. Going to have to transfer my captain in, and it's probably Christoph Woods. Nelson says, got it. Thanks for the advice. No problem, Nelson. Cameron, what's your thoughts on prioritizing information versus price drops squad value? Yeah, I mean, information is so key in FPL. Like, I saw people transferring in, I can't remember who it was, but basically doing Palmer to someone during people do transfers while the games are happening, which is crazy to me because the price isn't going to drop then. It may drop that night, but at least wait until after the game. People are just so rash with that, and I know a lot of people in this chat won't be like that, but for me, I prefer to just wait until the last 15 minutes before the deadline and make my moves. That is my strategy. And it always has been for like the past 3 to 4 years. I don't really pay too much attention to price rises and drops, but I will obviously check the predictors of price rises and drops to see, okay, is this person likely to go up and down? Can I still make the transfers that I want to make even with this drop? And sometimes I'll just eat the drop. I'll just be like, okay, I can still do it with the drop. I won't even check until the deadline. Because players can get injured in training, and we see it happen all the time. So yeah, that is my thought on it. Always prioritize information, but to an extent. Richard, I've sold Palmer for Sar and want to upgrade Estev to a premium defender and not sure who. Okay, Richard. Let me know who the rest of your defenders are. But in general, I think one of my favorite defensive picks for the upcoming game weeks is Munoz. Really like him. So if you don't have him or Pedro Porro, those are 2 that I would look into. 45 Ferez Ahmed says, should I play Gakpo or Rodgers this week? I would probably play... You know what? I'd still play Gakpo. Because they're both been good defensively, Arsenal and Crystal Palace. And the only difference is that Gakpo's, gotten returns and Rodgers hasn't. Mr. B, what's your thoughts on Ekitike and Gakpo minutes if Isak will be a Liverpool player? I think it makes... I do think it makes both their minutes. Excuse me. I think it makes both of their minutes worse. But what I do think is that I think Gakpo's minutes will be less affected than Ekitike's. Ekitike is a striker. Last time he played left wing was for PSG. I think people kind of blow it out of proportion saying that, oh, he'll just play left wing, he'll just play left wing. He's not a left winger, he's a striker. So he is Isak's backup. They bought a very expensive Isak backup. And I think Gakpo will still not be a 90-minute man, nowhere near, but he's going to start every game, I still think. I still think Gakpo will start every game. Jeevan Gill, do no Chelsea attack not concern you? Yeah, of course it's a concern, especially when you look at those projected goals. They're the second highest projected goals this game week. And I'm sure, you know, over the next 6 game weeks, they're up there too. It's just unfortunate. Like, I have the decision now to get in João Pedro or Chris Wood. But that decision's basically already made for me because you look at... I mean, looking at this, right? Chelsea have a higher chance of scoring against Fulham at home than Forest do against West Ham at home, which is crazy. Obviously, Chelsea are a much more attacking team than Forest, but you would have expected Forest to be a bit higher up with how bad West Ham have been. So one thing I am going to do, guys, let's take a quick little detour, and we're going to have a look at some of Rob T's data because his stuff is, quite frankly, the best. What he does is great. So what he does, he just posted this an hour ago. So let's have a look at... Okay, here we go. Projected FPL points. João Pedro has... Oh my god, João Pedro and Wood are tied. João Pedro and Wood are tied for projected points. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it looks like, so he said here, we have him as the most likely penalty taker this week without Palmer, but of course Delap and Enzo, both capable of taking one. So there you go. I think I think Chris Wood is probably a safer pick between João Pedro and him. That is my idea. So I am actually just going to go ahead and make my moves. So here we go, guys. We're going to get Sar in, and we're also going to get Chris Wood. So Palmer out, Mark Gio out, Sar in, Wood in. Boom. I'm not captaining Sar, don't worry. Okay. Let's wait, I'll move this so you guys can actually see. Okay. And then we'll go like this. Boom. Boom, boom. And we will captain Christopher Wood. I'll vice captain Salah. I'll save my team now. One thing I want to check out though is I do want to see the clean sheet odds. So Spurs, basically I have to decide if I'm playing Van de Ven or not. And I have Palace, City, Forest, Spurs to look at. Palace, City, Forest, and Spurs. So City 27% chance, Spurs 28% chance, Crystal Palace 20% chance. Spurs have actually such a high chance of clean sheet compared to Palace. But like, can I bench Munoz for Van de Ven? That is my question now. Munoz or Van de Ven? Who to start? Can I check the... I want to have a quick look at this poll. Live stream. Okay. I'll just do this over here while you guys have this. Boom. That's not my actual team right now, obviously, but you guys know what's here. So, okay. And can I show the poll? Can you guys see the results of the poll? I mean, it looks like Wood is the most likely captain. Yeah, looks like it. Okay, I'm going to leave my team how it is now. Actually, before I do that, let me just change this so that you can actually see that I am using, I have made these transfers. Just so you guys know. And let me add that into my visualization. Okay. I'll go over here. All right, don't worry. In one sec, I'll get back to your questions, guys. I just need to fix this. Okay. Share page 5, download. So yeah, let me get through a few more of your questions and then I will add in these vizzes. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, my new team. My new team is up. New team unlocked. Right, there you go. Okay. Yeah, let's go through some more questions. And in the meantime, guys, I'm going to get through these questions, but if you're in the chat and you want to help me with my decision on whether to start Van de Ven or Munoz, the thing is, now that I think about it, I have double Palace attack. I literally have double Palace attack. I have double Palace attack as well as double Villa attack. I would love to go to this game now that I think about it. I'd love to actually be at this game and just hope for a goal fest. The thing is, I have double Villa attack against Munoz. So do I want to start Munoz or Mickey? Mickey Van de Ven. I am going to the Spurs game in person. I am going to the Spurs game today. So I'm kind of like, should I just play Van de Ven? Yeah, it's a tough one. Let me know what you guys think, Munoz or Van de Ven. Okay, so Alejandro says midfield is Salah, Palmer, Wirtz, Dewsbury Hall, and Bruno. Salah, Palmer, Wirtz, Dewsbury Hall, and Bruno. Okay. Yeah, I think in that case, going back to your question, Palmer and Gio, Tadango and Watkins looks actually quite good. I know it's crazy to get in Watkins now, but you would think that, yeah, you even said it here, Crystal Palace looked leggy on the midweek and surely Emery turns it around. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree with you there. And that itself is tempting me to bench Munoz for Van de Ven. Shane Riley, Bowen, Palmer, Mallon, which two should go? Between those two, definitely Palmer, one of them. And then you definitely, I mean, you would say Mallon, wouldn't you? You would have to say Mallon, just because Bowen is going to play, and we don't know is Mallon going to play. You would expect him to though. Gonçalo Pereira says, "Hey, bench one, Semenyo, Reinders, or Rogers?" Between those, you'd probably bench. Would you bench Reinders? Nah, you probably would bench Reinders. Ugh. Yeah, because you're definitely starting Semenyo. Out of those three, Semenyo's got to start. I know he's got the tougher fixture, but he's just that guy. Yeah, I'd bench between Rogers and Reinders. I'd probably bench Reinders. F2 says Senesi or Van de Ven because Bournemouth could score, but Senesi gets C-bit. Yeah, Bournemouth could score, but Spurs defense has been quite solid, and they look like they've got a high clean sheet odds here. I'd go for the Spurs defender at home. Bench Ismail Sarr or Wirtz. I'm playing Haaland, Watkins, Wood, Rogers, Kudus, Bruno. Bench Ismail Sarr or Wirtz. I would probably bench Sarr. Would I? Over Wirtz? That's crazy, actually. You know what? I'd probably start Sarr. Crazy enough. I know Wirtz is 8.5 mil and technically a premium asset, but I just fancy Sarr to score more than him based off what I've seen so far. Who to bench of these options? H says Semenyo, Wirtz, Reinders, Rogers. If you had to bench one of these, I would probably bench Reinders. Stories says Munoz or Van de Ven. Yeah, I mean, that's the question. That is the question. Sam Ansel, sorry, this has probably been answered 20 times, but I have Fernandez and Wood. Which do I captain? Leaning towards Wood, but nervous he doesn't play enough minutes. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily something to worry about with Chris Wood. Has he not been playing 90 minutes? Hasn't he? I mean, it looks like he played 87 minutes against Palace, 78 against Brentford. It's a good point. Yeah, I mean, if I had Bruno, I'd probably be captaining him. To be honest, would I? Yeah. I'd say Bruno is probably a better captain than Wood this week. I would say. So yeah, go for him, Sam. Go for Bruno. Irfan says Palmer to Sarr and Mark Gio to Wood. Yeah, that's what I did. Go for it. Thought Wood was a gamble. Looks like everyone is captaining him. Yeah, he'll be a popular captain for sure. If you had to transfer in Newcastle mid, would you prefer Alanga or Barnes? I'd prefer Alanga for sure. Just because Barnes is a great player to have in for the next game week. But then once Gordon's back, it's like if they get a striker, which they just have, Alanga's got that right wing on lock. That's his. I think Barnes is the one competing for the left wing spot with Gordon, and Gordon's always going to play instead. So yeah, Elanga. I think Muhammad Ali says, I think Man United players is good for free hit this game week. How about Newcastle players for this game week? I think I'm going for free hit, but not so sure for Newcastle players. If I had a free hit, I'd be going 3 Newcastle players this game week for sure. I'd be getting Byrne, Livermento, and Elanga. DM McDonald, morning man, hope you're well. My team for this weekend: Sanchez, Porro, Murillo, Chalobah, Rogers, Salah, Kudus, Johnson, Gakpo, João Pedro, Watkins. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, that's a solid looking team for this game week. You've got triple Spurs as well, which is nice. Yeah, looking good, man. Doreen Duyun says, I won a mini league last season watching your videos. Best content out there. For Fernandez or Cunha just for this week. Well, thanks very much. Really appreciate that. And glad I could help you win your mini league. That's what this is all about. Between Fernandez and Cunha for 1 week, yeah, it has to be Fernandez. Varfiel, best Newcastle defender. It's between Byrne and Livermento for me. Obviously, if Schär was 100% fit, he would be in there. But I'm not sure on Schär's situation right now. But it has to be either Byrne or Livermento. I would say Livermento is the safer pick, but Byrne is probably higher upside because he gets C-bit and he also is a big attacking threat from set pieces. But once Sven Botman is back, then things could change slightly in terms of rotation. Offside Footy F1, hello mate. Good to have you in the stream. How's it going? You already have Sarr, Semenyo and Reindeers at their base prices. Fair play. Thinking of taking a -4 for Palmer because casuals will make his price drop again. Yeah, they probably will. Whom should I buy for the next 3 to 4 game weeks? Well, you already have Semenyo, Sarr, which are my 2 favourite replacements for Palmer. I think you can get a bit interesting here. Now, the 2 that I suggest to you is Kudus is probably the safest pick, but Elanga is the one I would potentially go for if I was you. Because the upside in this first fixture is huge. Leads away. I love that, Getting a Spurs player in before they play Bournemouth isn't necessarily an easy fixture, and I just see Elanga really fitting into this Newcastle side once they get a striker because he's looked so dangerous, and the next 2 fixtures are crazy. Leeds away, Wolves at home. I mean, yeah, I quite like Elanga as a differential pick for you there. What do you think about that? Richard, my defence is Munoz, Nico Williams, Van de Ven, Juff, Esteve. Is transferring Porro wise, doubling up on Spurs defence? Yeah, I do actually think it is a good move. I think it's a great move, to be honest. Porro looks like a really good attacking pick this season. I think Spurs defence, doubling up on Spurs defence last season would have sounded insane. This season, not so much. I think it's definitely viable. Adrian Vidinov, what about Pedro as captain? What do you think? João Pedro as captain is definitely an option, for sure. For sure it is. Especially if he's on pens. Cristiano Ronaldo says, hello bro, what's up? Elanga, Barnes, Sarr, which one good option? And Milenkovic, Livermento. I would say Sarr, Elanga, Barnes in that order. And then between Milenkovic and Livermento, probably Milenkovic. Yeah. Euro NRG Eurodan says, start Verbruggen or Dubravka at goal. Well, it looks like Dubravka has the lowest clean sheet odds this game week, and Brighton have the 4th lowest, so I just go for Verbruggen there. Irfan Sadiq, will it be a good idea to take a hit for Livermento? Depends who you're getting out. Who do you have to get out of your defence so badly that you need to take a hit? Mr. B, after some strange Marinakis interviews, you think Nuno's going to be sacked? Yeah, I mean, I think it's on the cards, but they've been playing, they've been playing well. They've won the first game. They drew against Palace, which is a result. So I don't think it's based off fixtures if they're going to fire him. Avi Stevenson says, Spurs defense is much highly owned. Van de Ven safe, Munoz risky, higher ceiling. Okay, yeah, fair. That's a good point. KM Sar versus Semenyo. Probably I would just edge it towards Sar. But it's very close. It's very close. On wildcard, Mateta or Pedro? I would go João Pedro on wildcard. Jonesy Chats Wrestling says, will United turn it around today? Who you swapping Palmer for? Yeah, I think United will turn it around today, because if they don't, it's against Burnley at home, and what are they doing? I mean, they couldn't do it against Grimsby Town, so I'm not expecting too much as a Man United fan. And I swapped Palmer for Sarr, to answer your question. Jeevan Gill, Villa should be much more attacking with the defensive injuries they have. I agree. So I think this is an interesting point that FPL Harry made on our stream that we do every Wednesday with Fantasy Football Scout. Check it out if you haven't already. Kamara is obviously out injured. Previously they were playing Kamara, Tielemans, McGinn and Onana, which are 4 players that are all quite defensively minded, you would say. Maybe not so much with Tielemans. Either way, it's quite a defensive team to have. If you're starting 4 of those players in your team, it just feels like you're locking down like a 0-0, a 1-0. Like then you look at Kamara coming out and hopefully Malin coming in. I think that team looks a lot better like that. Okay, DM McDonald, I'd be swaying more towards Van de Ven personally over Munoz. Yeah, fair enough. Jeevan Gill says the same. I'd personally start Van de Ven because of clean sheet. Yeah. Varfiel, I see Munoz as an attacker. Clean sheet is a bonus. Fair enough. Cameron, Van de Ven, remember you don't like playing defenders against attackers. Then again, Munoz isn't a defender. Yeah, true. This is actually such a tough one. Jonesy says, hope United wins. Mateta and Watkins have cost me so many points this season. Yeah, same. I mean, they've not got me any points is the problem. FPL Hawk, do I captain Bruno even with Haaland in the squad? I would captain Haaland, I would captain Haaland if I had him. I think he's the best captain this game week. So Hale says, how you doing, mate? Good to have you in the stream. How's it going? I transferred out Palmer and Strand Larson to Gakpo and Gyökeres. Still have Gio with 0.3 mil in the bank. Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to kept Gio. I think he's such a good enabler in our squads. Honestly, like, now I've just ripped my whole squad structure up to fit in. Like, I've gotten rid of a premium and an enabler and swapped with 2 viable assets, which is something that I'm not too keen on, but I had to go for it. So the fact that you were able to get Palmer and Strand Larson out is huge. And keep Gio. So yeah, I like those moves. Gakpo and Gyökeres, nice one, man. Your team now is Sanchez, Paro, Romero, Murillo. Okay. Salah, Bruno, Gakpo, Wirtz, Reinders, Gyökeres and Mateta. Richards, Esteve and Gio on the bench. Yeah, man, I really like it. I love the structure of the squad. I love some of the nice picks you've gotten there. Like the Gyökeres and Gakpo picks are good. So yeah, good luck this game week, man. Matt Henderson, Van de Ven, only 0.1 XGI between them. Interesting. Wilson to Semenyo or Esteve to Paro/Burn. If you can do Wilson to Semenyo, I would go for that. I feel like that's higher upside for sure. Varfiel, best goalkeeper on wildcard? I'd probably say Nick Pope. Actually. Would I? Or would I just go for... Yeah, I like Pope, to be honest. They've looked really good defensively and they've got good fixtures. Lacroix, Consa, Reynaldo, pick 2. So bench 1. I would bench Reynaldo. Thomas Shelby, should I start Van de Ven or Consa? And who do you think is a better captain pick this week, Cunha or Salah? I would say that Salah is a better captaincy pick than Cunha. Between Van de Ven or Consa, I think... I mean, like, clean sheet odds here have Consa quite, 5% higher clean sheet odds than Van de Ven. So I'd probably go Consa. Yeah, I would. Benching Wirtz feels illegal. Yeah, fair. Finding nice to see a Palace triple up. Yeah, I've got the Palace triple up. I mean, it looks so good going forward. This game week, maybe not so much, but going forward it does. Callum Munty, could you rank these? Sarr, Rodgers, Reinders. In terms of starting, I would say Sarr, Rodgers, Reinders. I would actually go that way. Yeah. And in terms of general FPL assets, I would say Sarr, Reinders, Rodgers. Yeah. I may eat those words though. I may. Shar should be on pens. Yeah, I was thinking that, Jeevan Gill. Shar could be on pens if he's not concussed. I don't know what his situation is. Maybe I should have checked up on that, but I wasn't making a defensive transfer this week anyways. But yeah, Shar on pens would be huge. I almost started the season with him. He was in a few of my drafts too. Should I captain Wood or João Pedro? I would say I'd lean towards Wood. If you could, Mijay says if you get one of Wood or João Pedro this week, who would you get and why would you get Wood? Yeah, I would get Wood to answer your question. Umair says Palmer out, Semenyo or Kudus. Between those two, I'd go Semenyo. Top Bins Edits says Captain Wood or Ndoye. I like Wood as a captain. He's on pens. J Dubon 14. Who would you bench between Rangers, Sar, Mateta or Semenyo? I'd probably be benching Rangers there. FPL Hawk. If on a free hit, how many playing players would you have on the bench? Doesn't really matter necessarily, does it? You would just hope that your starting 11 starts, you know. So playing players, I'd say maybe just have one on the bench. Why are you starting Munoz over Van de Ven when Spurs have higher clean sheet chance? Yeah, this is my dilemma, Ronak. I need you guys to help me with, because I look at this and I'm like, do I just start Van de Ven over Munoz? I just feel like Munoz isn't even a defender, man. Like, do I just go for it and I start Van de Ven instead? They've looked so solid defensively. I mean, like, I have two Villa players up against my Palace player. What do you guys think? Let me know. Pedro Cap or Salah, says Mr. Gabos. I would go for Salah. Ali Darwish, would you captain Pedro, Salah or Gibbs White? I'd captain Salah there. Nikolai Moller, I ended up transferring out 8 Nuri to Dorgu, Palmer to Kudus, Watkins to Haaland for -4. Yeah, that's huge, man. Getting Haaland in for captaincy is huge. Was afraid of the price drop and maybe panicked. No, I think it's all right. I quite like those transfers, to be honest. Getting Haaland in to captain is nice. Irfan Sadiq, take a hit for Livermento and transfer out De Kuiper. I mean, De Kuiper's is he gonna play? That's the thing. I mean, I'd only be transferring out players for a hit if they're not gonna play. That's my perspective. A Lamau, honestly, my favorite FPL creator at the moment. Keep it up, mate. Wow, thanks so much. That's huge. Really appreciate that. Nice one, thanks. Richard said, to upgrade a defender, is it better to upgrade a Stev or Juve to save the 0.5? I would be upgrading Juve, probably. Yeah. Captain João Pedro feels risky. Fulham is not a team that will concede too many goals. I can see this being a 1-0 game. I 100% agree with you, Jay Dubon. I think Fulham are a good defence. I think everyone knows that, which is why I'm not. That's why I got Wood in instead of João Pedro. Mike says, no, best Palmer replacement. Got no Salah. Been a Haaland draft since game week 1. Wow, okay. Yeah, I would go either Semenyo or Sar. That's what I like. Oh, we got a super chat in. Bob Juburi, thanks for really appreciate the super chat. That's huge. Yeah, nice one, man. Elanga, Barnes, Kudus, or Johnson for Palmer. I want to punt on Newcastle, but don't know which pick. So I discussed this a bit already. What I would say is that between Elanga and Barnes, those are the two Newcastle attackers that you would consider. I like Elanga more because even disregarding the data, just from a pure minutes perspective over the long run, I can see Gordon coming back in. They've got Vultemad up top now as a striker. So on the right wing, it's got to be Elanga. On the left wing, it's got to be Gordon. Up top, they've got Vultemad. So then once Gordon's back and this striker's in, Barnes isn't really going to play much. And I know he's a good player on his day. When he plays and he gets the minutes, he's so dangerous and attacking. But, it's got to be Elanga just from a minutes perspective. So I really, really like the shout of going for a Newcastle midfielder. I wish I had done that instead of Sar at some point, but yeah, I just like Sar as a pick as well. So, but yeah, thanks so much for the super chat, Bob. Really appreciate it, man. Okay, going through more of the questions. I'm going to try to get to as many as I can. 13 minutes left until the deadline, by the way, guys. Okay, John David. Thanks. I need help. 2 free transfers. Should I do Saka to Eze and Bowen to João Pedro? My midfield is Gakpo, Salah, Rangers. I like that. I like that. I like the Saka. I mean, Saka to Eze. Maybe I wouldn't do Eze in. I think there's better picks like Semenyo and Sar. But yeah, Bowen to João Pedro. I like the idea. Offside Footy F1. You actually read my mind, mate. Elanga or Kudus? I have been thinking so that I have around 5 million in the bank. Could upgrade to Gyökeres, João Pedro, or any other good options from Krupi Jr. Nice one. Hey, great minds think alike, don't they? Good to hear that we're on the same page there. Bring in Kudus, Sar, or Anderson. Between those, I'd rank it Sar, Kudus, Anderson. Samuel says, Cunha, Wood, or Fernandez? Who should I captain? I'd probably be captain in Bruno there. Yeah, probably be captain in Bruno. JT, did you seriously consider free hitting this week? No, because looking at my team, I could have played a few of my bench options. So I didn't really consider it, to be honest. FPL Hawk, non-FPL question. What do you do for a living until you become a full-time YouTuber in the future? I don't know if full-time YouTuber is on the table of options there, but for a living, I actually am a data scientist for a football agency. So like, the way footballers have agents, like, all the big agents that Jorge Mendes, Mino Raiola, these guys. I actually work for a football agent as a data scientist. So I help to market our players to clubs, looking at their data, stuff like that. I've just seen someone's name in the chat, Owen Collins. Stephen, me and Kieran just got back from a 25k in the living room. We are stressing the change to make. What's the play? Alright, let's go have a look at my mate Owen's team real quick. I know I'm in the same league as him, so I shouldn't be giving him advice, but let's go have a look at what Owen Collins should be doing with his fantasy team. Okay. Don't mind the name of the league. Okay. Owen Collins. Oh, wait. I forgot. Owen just copied my team. I forgot that. All right, what are we doing, he says. What are we doing? Owen, we are doing Palmer out, Mark Giu out for Sar and Chris Wood. Palmer out, Mark Giu out. So these two boys, get them out of your team, Owen. Get these two out of your team. And then do Ismail Assar, the Crystal Palace player, in. And do Mark Giu, get him out, and do Chris Wood. And then we're going to captain Chris Wood. Me and Owen are bringing up the bottom of the league right now. So, anyways, back to the questions. Yeah, that's my full-time job. I work for a football agency. To answer your question, okay. Hello, FPL Gallagher. What have I missed? Jeez, you've missed my 2 transfers. I did Palmer out and Sar in, and I did Mark Giu out and Chris Wood in. Okay. Jeevan Gill, if I do Anderson and Mateta for Palmer and Fulkrug, that gives me money to do Verts to Palmer, sack in the future, and upgrade a defender to Munoz. Would you still recommend just Palmer to Sar? Yeah, I think saving the transfer is probably the most valuable thing here. Sorry, I'm getting spammed at the same time by some little... Where is he? Here he is. Whoa. Seeing too much. All right, let's help my mate out. What is he doing here? He's got Sanchez. I mean, this team is... Okay, so you're going to put Porro in for Anderson, I would say. You can do... Oh, God. This is tough. Okay, so Palmer is definitely out. I would do Palmer out. And then Frimpong out. I would replace... Okay, here's what you're going to do. Kieran, you're going to do Palmer and Frimpong out and get in Semenyo or Ismail Assar. Either of those two. I'll give you dealer's choice. And then also do Frimpong out for... See, do you want to do Frimpong out, actually? Maybe don't do Frimpong out because he plays Burnley and Everton in the next 2. So what you can do is upgrade Mark Giu instead. So Palmer and Mark Giu to Sar and João Pedro. Or Semenyo and João Pedro. There you go, man. Sorted. Let me get rid of my WhatsApp so you guys can't read my messages. Alrighty. So we got Sohail says, which player are you most happy with in your squad? I'm guessing Gakpo. He's done well for you, and not many picked him. I wish I had over Verts, who I'm looking at very closely. Hope he returns soon. Yeah, I was very keen for. I was very keen on Gakpo to start the season. He was in basically all my preseason drafts, so happy to see him obviously return. But most importantly, just get the minutes. Just getting the minutes is huge. SC, is it bad I'm debating keeping Sesko as a differential, or should I agree with most and just get Wood? Man, go for Sesko. He's playing Burnley. Come on. You'd expect him to bag a little goal. A little goal for Sesko. But no, if you're getting Sesko over Wood, Chris Wood is the better pick, to be fair. Yeah, so you're taking a risk, taking my advice there. Varfield, do you think Reece James will start? Will make Cucurella a better option today? I'm not too sure about Chelsea team leagues. Let's see if there's any... Okay, quit. Let's go back and see what the any team leaks. Let's see if we get any. Let's have a quick look. Before we do that, we'll go to Jump the Wave because she has the best team predictions. Okay, here we go. Arsenal, Aston Villa, Brighton, Chelsea. So Reece James 100% likely to start. 100% likely. So there you have it. There's your answer. Okay, we'll go back to this. That's my team, correct. Boom. Okay. Rog, you bench boost this week, then wildcard for the national break. Save them, and then you give your team. You could bench boost that team. Yeah. I don't mind it. I think bench boost, I think all the chips are very, it's kind of like you could do them whenever you want. Do them whenever you want, Okay, let's see. I want to get to all these questions, guys, but I'm really not going to have a chance to. We only have 5 minutes left before the deadline, so let me see. Okay, is it totally off considering dropping Salah after Burnley and Everton if he doesn't deliver 10 points in one of them? I could potentially upgrade my defense to Van Dijk and Gio to Pedro/Wood. Getting rid of Salah isn't really. I feel like there's so many. Fires to be putting out in people's teams. Getting rid of Salah isn't really top of a lot of people's list. Frank Golding, is it worth -4 to get Cucurella in for Juve? Cucurella in for Juve. For a -4, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it for -4 because he will play Juve. He will play. Okay, guys, I am going to very quickly start a new poll, just so you guys can help with my team decision, because I'm honestly not too sure what to do with Munoz and... let me just put this back here so you guys can see that while I do this. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure who to start, Munoz or Van de Ven. I'm struggling on this decision, to be fair. Okay, I'm going to end this poll. And I'm going to start a new poll. Okay, start poll. Who to start? Start 1. I'll do Munoz. And we'll do the little squiggly. Okay, Van de Ven. Start poll. Boom, get in there, boys. Let me see what we're thinking. Okay. Let's see what we're thinking, lads. But yeah, only a few minutes to go, so I will not have too much time to make this decision, to be honest. Okay. Who to bench out of Gakpo, Sar, and Reinders? Gakpo, Sar, and Reinders. I would bench Reinders there. Mr. B says bench both. Or sorry, start both and bench Rodgers for my team. That is I wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting that. But it is valid, honestly. Like, it is kind of valid. Yeah, it looks like people want me to start Van de Ven. I think I am leaning towards that. Let's just lock it in, guys. Oh, am I really benching Munoz against Villa, who haven't scored? Oh. Is that what is happening here? I think it is. Let me just move these. Okay. Boom. Yeah, that is the team right now. Not ideal, but it's pretty close in the poll, by the way. It's pretty close in the poll. Okay, we'll just go with this for now, lads. We'll go with this for now. Yeah. Tough one, but there we go. Using any boosters? No, not myself. Not myself. No chips. Thoughts on Mario as my captain? Wow, that is a shout. I'm generally never captain defenders because the upside is so low compared to a high upside attacker. Obviously, the floor. Bench Munoz over Van de Ven doesn't feel right. Thomas Shelby. I know, you're right. It doesn't feel right, does it? Should I just start Munoz? Oh, lads. I might just go with my gut. I'm going to go with my gut and say that I do think Spurs will concede. Thing is, Munoz plays against two of my attackers. Oh, God. I'll just go for Munoz. He is not a defender. Munoz is not a defender. Munoz is an attacker. That's what I need to have in my mindset. And if he gets a clean sheet, I'll actually be pretty disappointed because that means Rodgers and Watkins won't have done anything. But it's a tough one. I'll just have to swallow that one. Yeah. Yeah, that is tough, but I don't mind. I'm content with the decision. I've been starting Munoz all week. That was my plan. Is Strand Larson playing? I'm not too sure. No leaks yet. Just did a coin toss between Elanga and Kudus. Going with Kudus. Would like to see how Newcastle set up in the next 2 game weeks. Very fair. Yeah, I like it. I mean, Kudus is still a great pick, man. Still a great pick. Thomas Shelby. I mean, both teams can concede. It's just Munoz can give an attack return this week. True. The thing is, I'm just actively hoping that Crystal Palace concede. Is the thing. With Munoz, you still have a chance after conceding. True. Thing is, I'm going to the Spurs game, so I would, like, in person, I would love to have some skin in the game if I go to this, but I just can't. I just feel like Munoz is the high upside pick, so we're going to go for that and make sure Chris Wood is my captain. Guys, literally seconds until the deadline. Have about 10 seconds to go, so lock those teams in. Let me take a little screenshot of my team so I can put it on my Twitter. Okay, we'll go like this. Bada bing, bada boom, boom, pow. Boom. Okay, there we go, guys. That's the team. We are set. Deadline has arrived. Sohail, good decision. Why have an attacker like him on the bench? I agree. Yeah, he is an attacker. You're right. He's an attacker. You're right. I shouldn't be sweating it. Should not be sweating it. I'm going to remove the poll now. Let's have a quick look at the poll and how it went. What did you guys think? Okay. Yeah, let's have a quick look how the poll went. So it actually ended up 50-50. 40 votes Munoz Van de Ven. 50-50. 20 votes each. So there you go. I mean, I'm going to end it there just so we have... Oh, no, it's... Did I end it and it went 51? It went 51 Munoz. Yeah, it went someone else and then it went back. But I think Munoz just edged it. So there we go. That's that poll done. I mean... Sohail, I'm going to the Burnley game, not feeling good, but can't get much worse than Grimsby, can it? Yeah, fair. I mean, it really can't get much worse than that. It can't. Losing on pens to Grimsby, it can't get worse. All right, have a great day. Thanks again, great stream. You too, Owen. I'll be seeing you soon, man. Too bad you can't make it to Chingers on Sunday, but me and Paddy Caulfield will hold it down. Hopefully we'll play a bit better than we did last week. Have a good one, man. Jeevan Gill, I got too nervous and now I've got Wood instead of rolling. Balls. Guys, if you've made it this far in the stream and you aren't subscribed yet, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, it would make a huge difference for me, so really appreciate it. And yeah, good luck everyone. I am gonna get started with my day now, and yeah, looking forward to this. I mean, I have no skin in the game in this Chelsea Fulham match. Like, literally no players. Sorry, I do actually have Sanchez for Fulham, but I'm probably not gonna be able to watch the match. But I will be at the Spurs match. So also have no skin in that game except benching Van de Ven, which feels wrong, but I'm really looking forward to that match. I think it'll be high scoring for both teams. That's my prediction. So yeah, have a good one, guys. Good luck this game week, and leave a like on the stream if you enjoyed it. Click that button, it really helps me, and yeah, it doesn't take much to do for you guys, so I would really appreciate that. And yeah, good luck with the game week. Have a good weekend, and hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm really enjoying doing these streams, by the way. Like, I'm really enjoying these streams, getting to chat to you guys, and I remember a lot of you guys' names, you know, so that's quite fun. So yeah, join it. I'm enjoying the little community that we're building here. So yeah, like and subscribe if you guys haven't already, so you can join the community. Okay, guys, have a good one and good luck this game week.